Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Broc Gardner versus the world. If you're here, it's because you get it, dude, and I really appreciate that. We got some good stuff to talk about. We got to talk about why I can't get a job. We got to talk about the driving range. We're going to talk about Outer Banks Season 2. We got some TikToks, and then we got some thought-provoking things to kind of think about at the end of the show. I'll save it for the end, though, so we can have a fun, productive time. It's Broc Gardner versus the world. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate you guys a lot. You literally don't know. I love you. I'm really trying to figure out how to master this slider thing so I can time it perfectly. Because one of my favorite things in the entire world is when radio guys will start playing a song and it's playing like the intro guitar and they're still talking during it, and then they stop talking and they say something so dope right as the person's about to start singing. It's my favorite thing in radio, and I'll never get over it, I don't think. So that's what I'm trying to accomplish right now. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So it'll be like, and it'll be like, hey, it's the Beatles with right here on B92.1, The Wave. And right as they say The Wave, all of a sudden Paul McCartney starts coming in singing. And it's beautiful, and I love it, dude. Anyways, man, it's been a heck of a week, dude, since we last saw you. So much stuff has happened that has kind of impacted my life and changed my life for the better, for the worse. So much good kush, as that one Vine would say. You ever see that one Vine where the girl's like, Dad, it's the good kush, and he's like, this is the dollar store, how good can it be? Yeah, weird. Remember when we all used to watch Vine compilations? That was kind of odd. Remember for that one period after Vine died where everybody was watching Vine compilations? When was the last time you watched a Vine compilation? And there was a lot of people, including myself, who at the start of TikTok were like, TikTok will just never be Vine. Vine was so amazing and so much better than TikTok. It will never beat Vine. And I'm just like, dude, now I'm like, that's a foolish thing to say. TikTok is infinitely better than Vine. TikTok is the perfect combination of Vine and like Musical.ly, where it's just this beautiful mesh and there's funny stuff, there's cool stuff. It's just perfect, man. And I love it. And that's why, that's why China's going to take over, is because they made such a perfect app with such a beautiful algorithm and such a beautiful interface that people can just stay on there for hours and hours and hours. But we've talked about that, man. We don't need to talk about that all the time. So I've been on the hunt, man. I've been on the hunt for jobs, because it's tough out there, dude. It's tough out there. You got to make that bread. You got to earn the bread. And you got to make that money, dude. You got to make that dough so you can get married and have a beautiful family. And also, just support yourself through college or whatever endeavor you may be partaking in. And so I'm trying to find a job so I can have money. Because for some reason in society, you have to have that. It's this weird thing. Dude, what was I thinking about? Who was talking the other day? Was it even on this podcast? I don't remember. Somebody was talking about like Bitcoin and how after like the market crashes, people are going to need to be trading gold or like Bitcoin or something. And they were like, no, people are going to be trading like resources, which like it was really something interesting that I never thought about. Maybe it was on this show. It might have been on this podcast, or maybe it was on a different I really don't remember. But they were like, no, why would you want Bitcoin? After the economy's crashed, why would you want Bitcoin or gold when you could have like water or food, And like I never thought about that before. Like, what does money even represent? What even is money, dude? Dude, what even is money? I seriously don't understand. But anyways, you need it to survive and pay for stuff. And so, naturally I'm looking for a job. So I applied to all these jobs. All these dumb college kid jobs, down in St. George. And apparently, this is the thing, dude. As I'm going into the workforce, everyone's like, man, you'll find a job so easy because everyone's hiring. And you know what, dude? I haven't seen that. If everyone's hiring, why am I not hired? Let's take a look at myself. So I applied for all these jobs, and only one emailed me back and was like, yo, or they called me. And I almost didn't answer, dude. Calling is such a scary game. Why would you call first of all, anybody that doesn't have your number already. Because if I see a number that I don't already have in my phone, I immediately think it's a scam. And so most of the time with scammers, I just like pick up and just stay silent. I don't even say hello or anything, because it's like, that's kind of a power move, if you guys don't know, is like to be the alpha in a conversation, in conversational judo, you might say. You need to be you don't want to be the first person to talk. First person to speak loses. That's like conversation 101. So I pick up the phone and I sit there and I wait for them to speak, because then I'm the dominant one now. And so I did that, and it happened to be this guy calling back for an interview. So maybe that was the issue. And he's like, hey, is this Broc? And I was like, oh, this is not one of the spam calls. So I take the call and they're like, we want to interview you. So I was like, dope. And so I drive all the way to St. George to interview. And I interview, and dude, I thought it went so well. I thought it went smooth. I was being personable. I was like, yo, man. I was just chilling there filling out this form, and this guy came in. He's like, yo, do you work here? It was like an employee. He's like, dude, do you work here? I'm like, no, not yet, man. I'm applying right now. He's like, bro, clock in. I'm like, all right, man, I'm down. Like, I was having such a vibing time. Such a good and vibing time. And then I went in, talked to the guy, thought it went well, thought we, clicked. I thought I made a good impression. And he's like, dude, we'll call you tomorrow. I'm going to call you tomorrow. And I was like, all right, sounds perfect. And then tomorrow came, and I didn't get a call. What does that mean, guys and gals? What does that mean? I'm sorry to come in here with my personal life, but what else do you guys want to listen to? Dude, he says he's going to call. I feel like a girl right now, dude. I feel like a woman after a one-night stand. They say they're going to call and they don't call. Why? If you're not going to call, say you're not going to call. But don't say you're going to call and then don't call. Do one thing or do the other thing. Don't try and do both things. That's a theme. That's a reoccurring theme on this podcast. Do one thing or do the other thing, but don't try and do both things, because you can't. Anyways, so yeah, they didn't call, and I was pretty upset. And so, you know what I did, like a crazy ex-girlfriend, just now? I texted the guy. Oh, hi, I'm Broc. Was that a bad decision? Probably. But it's been 4 days. And they haven't called me, and I haven't heard from them. You would think, in my mind at least, obviously, haven't been in the job world for that long, but in my mind, it's kind of like, hey, if we like you, we're going to call you and say we like you. But if we don't like you, we're going to call you and say, hey, we're not interested. That's what happens in Broc's mind. So why no call at all? That's all I asked. And was it kind of like a crazy ex-girlfriend thing to do? To text the guy that didn't give me a job and be like, hey, what's up with this no call thing? That's what I said. I said, hey, man, it's Broc. Why didn't you call me? I didn't get a call. I was so passive-aggressive, too. I was like, didn't get a call from you, ! Wondering why that is, ? And, it's going to be bad for me, as most things are in the end. But, we're just going to roll through it. As Nick Miller once said, the ending is going to be terrible, but the whole middle part's going to be awesome. And so that's basically what I live by now. And a lot of you might be wondering, Broc, why are you dressed as an islander? Because, dude, listen, we all live on an island. No matter where we are, we're living on an island. We're living on a floating little island. And I really wish I was in Hawaii or somewhere beautiful and warm instead of windy and smoky, which we'll get to in a second. So I went to the driving range, perhaps last Thursday. No. Wait, when did I go? Oh, no, it was Friday. It was Friday before Dixie orientation, which we'll also talk about. So I went to the driving range on Friday morning at about 7 a.m. I was there. And, dude, I was having a vibing time. It wasn't as good as the time before when there was businessmen talking business deals, talking assets, talking accounts, talking Michelle. If you don't know what I'm speaking about, go to the last episode and listen to it, because I explained the whole situation and why I love golf so much. So we're not going to hit on it again, dude. But there was no businessmen. There was no old businessmen. There was pretty much nobody there. And so I pulled up. I go to the spot. I got my stall right at the end, bro. Right on the far end where I'm away from everybody and I can just focus on the game, dude. I'm actually so terrible. I'm actually so bad at golf. If you guys are wondering, I've been golfing for approximately a week, and I'm terrible. And I'm bad. I was just practicing about an hour ago with some turf that my uncle lent me, and I broke it. And I feel really terrible about that. But that's the way the news goes, and I'm hoping I can get better. But anyways, I was out on the end, getting my range, my driving in. I was smacking that ball all across the way. And then all of a sudden, this dude pulls up next to me. And I don't even remember what he was wearing. He was like a fake golfer, such as myself. So it takes one to know one. I can recognize, I can pick it out because I'm a fake golfer. I can see the real golfers and I can see the fake golfers because I am a fake golfer. So don't come at me being like, oh, Broc, you're a fake golfer too. I know it, dude. That's why I can tell. He was a fake golfer. He was a poser. Posers, no posers. What is it called? Isn't there like a saying like that? Like, takes one to know posers, no posers or something? Something dumb. Anyways, and he pulls up next to me, dude. And viewer discretion advised, this is what he does. I'm like, bro, on the golf course, dude, that belongs in, I don't know where that belongs. Certainly not at a golf course, though. That belongs at like a baseball diamond. You can hock loogies and spit all over you want, all wherever you want, but not at the golf course. Not at the golf course. That's my happy place. I like to chill on the low-cut grass and smack white balls all around. That sounds good. Anyways, there's no hocking loogies and spitting loogies on the golf course, man. And it disgusted me, and it set the mood for the rest of the time. Then, you want to know the next thing? You want to know the next thing he did after he spit on the golf course? He did this. He pulled out his phone, and he did this. He pressed play. He pressed play on some country music and put it in his pocket and blasted it for the rest of us to hear. Why, dude? Number one biggest pet peeve of all time, when people don't know what earbuds are. How much is a pair of earbuds? Not even AirPods, not even wireless, not even completely wireless. I'm talking wired earbuds. Like, they come with the phone, number one. And number two, if they didn't, you can buy some for probably, I don't know, I haven't bought wired earbuds in 2 years because I'm rich and I just buy AirPods, but probably like $20 or less, okay? Probably like $20 or less, probably less than 10 for a pair of wired earbuds, and you can plug those in, and then guess what? We don't all have to listen to it. Guess what, man? Hey, man. I wanted to turn into Mark Wahlberg. Hey, man, guess what, man? Yo, you can get some earbuds. Hey, man, you can get some earbuds for like less than $10, man. And then we don't have to listen to your country music, man. We're out here. Like, I don't even wear earbuds. Because you want to know what? I wear earbuds a lot, dude. But when I'm out on the golf course, and I keep saying out on the golf course like it's such a important part of my life, and like I go there all the time, but I don't. But when I'm out on the range, man, I want to listen to the surroundings. It's my happy place. It's tranquil, dude. I want to listen to the birds and the bees and the trees and the sun. I want to listen to nature, dude. I want to listen to that. I want to listen to the whoosh of the and I want to listen to the lawn being mowed, and I want to listen to the sprinklers. I don't want to listen to baby do. Hey, man, you can put some earbuds in, man. Hey, man, you can put some earbuds in really easy, man. You plug them into your phone, you put them in your ears, man. They're like less than $10, dude. You can listen to all the country music you want, man. Mark Wahlberg, you have served me well. But yeah, dude, so that was the most excruciating thing. So I had to sit there. And the other thing, dude, too, was there was nobody else. There was nobody else on the golf course. And he pulls up, and he gets right in a stall next to me. That's my Joe Biden impression. Is that good? I just talk, but I just do impressions. Should I just do podcasts as whole people? Do a whole podcast as Mark Wahlberg? Do a whole podcast as Joe Biden? I had a stall, right? I had a right by myself, right at the end of the stall, And this guy, he pulls up right next to me. And he pulls up right next to me and right next to the stall when there's nobody else in the driving range. And he pulls up right next to me, right next to my stall. That's my impression of the President of the United States of America. Talking about golf. Yeah, that's really all I had about that, dude. Welcome to the most boring podcast of your entire life. Dixie State Orientation, or as some people call it, UPSU Orientation, because they're changing their name. Why? Because it's racist, question mark? Who knows? Everything's racist if we say so. So Dixie Orientation. Went there, dude. It was pretty not fun, but kind of fun at the same time. Let me explain. I went there by myself, dude, and it's just the oddest experience, because growing up, when you do stuff like that, you always got your mommy and daddy. Oh, you got your mommy and daddy with you to hold your hand and listen to the adults talk and take in the information. Not anymore, dude. I drove there myself. I got out myself. I walked to the building myself, and I did everything myself. And you may be thinking, yes, obviously, that's very easy. That's what adults do. Guess what? I'm not an adult. Not yet. I haven't left the house yet. So it was a new experience for me. So please just stop bagging on me, okay? Please just stop bagging on me. Just let me be me. Let me live my life, okay? So I did everything myself, and it's kind of a fun experience. And I had no idea. There was one person I knew there, but everybody else had no idea who they were. And that I thought would be scary. But the funny thing is, it wasn't, and it was the best. It was the greatest. But also it had like super first day of school, like summer camp vibes, if that makes any sense. So it was like, hey, campers, say your first name and something you're interested in. And I'm just like, man, I really don't like that. Because nobody cares what I'm interested in, just like I don't care what they're interested in. If I cared what they were interested in, I'd ask them. I keep singing, dude. I'm in such a sing-songy mood. Yeah, if I cared what people were interested in or what their names was, I'll just ask them. So I don't expect people to care what I'm interested in, and so I just don't think that's a fun experience. It's like that Drake thing, the sound from TikTok. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. It's just not an enjoyable experience for me, and I don't like any of you. That's my favorite Drake sound. But yeah, so it was pretty chill, and it was like super adult, dude. Like, it's just a totally different vibe from high school, which is such a funny thing to say, that college is different from high school. Obviously, that college is different from high school, but it's like kind of funny. We were like walking around campus, and the chick, first of all, chick that did my thing, chick that led my orientation, dude. She was bad. And chick, if you're watching this, you're fine. And please hit my line. I know you follow me on Insta. Hit my line, dude, because you were fine. And so anyways, we're walking around, and she's just like, we get to this fountain, and she's like, yeah, so you guys are going to be going to dances and stuff, and people are going to be like, hey, do you want to go make out? And you're going to be like, yeah, I want to make out. And then you guys will come to this fountain, and you'll make out. And I was like, man, imagine if my past principal talked like that. He would get killed. And they were just like people were just like casually dropping the F-bomb, like leaders and stuff, which I don't care. Like, I think that's funny. I love the F word, and I love listening to it. Contrary to popular belief, dude, I love the crisp sound of it, dude. It just makes me feel cool. And is that such a childish thing to say? Yeah, it is, but I just, I never outgrew it. Anyways, it was such a different vibe from high school. It was pretty fun, honestly. And then I was supposed to... There was this guy, he's like my academic advisor. So I'm going into media studies, and he like looked at me and he was like, hey, Broc, after this orientation, why don't you go over to the Jennings building and we'll give you a tour of the radio stuff. I think you're really going to like it. And dude, I was just so hyped for that, man. The whole day I was so stoked. And then I go into the Jennings building after, and there's nobody in there. It looked like I was in a zombie movie where everybody had died. And there was nobody in there, so I left, and I felt really bad. But then, dude, I just actually You're the first people I'm telling this right now. Actually, I'm super excited. And you guys are the first people I'm telling. So you guys are getting the exclusive. You're getting the scoop, man. I just got off the phone, such as an hour ago. I just got off the phone with a man that is over all the radio and media and podcasting stuff at Dixie State. And he emailed me this morning. He was like, hey, why don't you give me a call and we'll talk radio and podcasting? And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, when people, dude, I have such an anxiety calling people. I have such a calling anxiety. I don't know why, dude. I just hate being on the phone. I hate talking to people. But then all of a sudden, once I'm like talking to them, it's all good. But like I have such a hard time like dialing numbers and then pressing like record or whatever. What do you call it? What do you call it? Dial? Good night. Like when I'm ordering stuff from restaurants, I just can't do it over the phone, dude. I'd much rather do it in person. Phones freak me out because, like, who am I talking to? What do you look like? Who am I speaking with? I could be speaking with a woman that just has a super deep voice. Like, I seriously don't know. But anyways, I talked to this guy on the phone, and he was asking me about my goals and stuff and, like, what I want to accomplish, and we were just trying to get me on the right track, which is just super exciting, dude. And I was kind of being, like, such a tool, I feel like, but, you know, I'm just trying to get stuff done. And so I was, like, butting in and being like, yo, so my goal, he didn't ask. I was just like, my goal is to get on the radio at college and then eventually have that experience translate to getting a job with one of these other big radio stations in southern Utah. And then kind of doing that and doing my podcast at the same time. That's kind of my goal right now. And he's like, yeah, so we're going to get you on the Dixie radio as soon as possible. And I guess if you're good, he said, if you're good at what you do, I have a lot of connections with all those radio stations down there. And we'll if you're good at, if I feel like, you know what you're doing, we'll figure something out. And I was like, that was super exciting for me, dude. Because it's always been my dream, dude. It's always been my dream. Ever since I was a child, I've just been creating stuff and making stuff. And then it's slowly transitioned to like radio. And like, I grew up with radio. I grew up just being fascinated by AM, like talk radio too, and FM too. I think that's cool. And there's just something about radio that podcasts just can't capture, I think. There's something about the live nature and like, I don't know, there's just a whole different vibe with radio, I feel like, that I really love, and I don't think podcasting can really compete with. Like, obviously podcasting is huge, and that's where all audio like media is going to. But I still think there's like a nostalgia to radio, I guess, and just like a different feeling with radio and just the live media that podcasting really can't capture. But I'm going to try and do both and figure something out and maybe try and mesh them. I don't know. I got a lot of ideas in my head, but I can't put them to practice until I leave this town. Nah. Because why? Because why can't I put them into practice before I leave this town? Because I have anxiety in my head, dude, and I feel like I can't start anything until I'm in a place where I'm going to be for a long time, and I know I'm not going to be here for a long time, so I don't want to start anything or do anything here. And is that really destructive for my productivity? Yes, it is. But that's the mind that God gave me, dude, and I have to roll with it. What are we talking about now? Day in Vegas, dude? I bought a ticket while I was at orientation. Actually, my mom bought it for me. Shout out, Mom. She always has to buy my tickets because they always go on sale at the one time that I can't that month. Like, I can't buy a ticket that month. I'm going to be busy not being able to get on my phone. And so I was at orientation. My mom bought me a ticket, dude, for $541 for a ticket to that concert. Put the lineup on the screen. Travis Scott, Kendrick, Tyler, Earl, Doja Cat, I think, Lil Baby, Da Baby, Denzel Curry, Red Veil, tons of people, dude. There's so many people going to that, and I'm so stoked. But it did cost me a cool $541, which is a lot of money, and now I feel gross. But it's going to be fun. And you know what, dude? You know what? You can't just worry about money all the time, dude. You can't. You got to drop a dime to go have fun once in a while. Like, I don't know. That's just something I've been trying to focus on. Is like, obviously you need money and you shouldn't just blow it all, but like, you got to spend some and go do some fun stuff, dude. Because what's the point of having it if you don't use it to experience life? You can't just use it to pay rent and pay the bills, man. You got to do some fun stuff, bro. Like, there's no point in having it unless you do fun stuff. And will that get me in trouble because I'll be broke and homeless in a couple of years? Yeah, it will. Sure, it will. But then guess what? I'll just make more money. I'll just make more money and buy a house. Not that difficult, dude. Seriously. But yeah, so I was looking at, so I bought the ticket and I'm super stoked for that. It's going to be a fun time. It's in November. I think the only tickets now are like, probably like, I don't know, $700 for tier 4. Anyways, that literally nobody cares about what I'm talking about right now. So I was on their Instagram and like they posted the lineup. What the What the fuck? Okay, there's some lady talking behind me, and I seriously don't know where that was. That terrified me to the core. She's still talking. She's literally still talking. Okay, she's done now. That was seriously so scary. I almost died. I thought somebody was behind me. I thought they were going to murder me. I thought somebody was behind that blanket, and they were going to murder me. Luckily, they didn't, though, man. I'm still standing. So I was on the Day in Vegas Instagram. Such a boring podcast. I was on the Day in Vegas Instagram, and they posted the lineup, and there was somebody commenting that was like, I'm 25, and I haven't heard of any of these people. Pardon me. Pardon me. Number 1, what are you trying to gain from that comment? Number 2, what are you trying to gain from that comment, dude? Like, genuinely. And number 3, what are you trying to gain from that comment? Seriously. Like, are you trying to be cool? Are you trying to act cooler than you think you are? Or than people think you are? Like, and also, why are you lying? Why are you lying? Why do people think it's so cool to lie and, like, act like they're so cool? Like, that doesn't even make you cool. That makes you a dork. First of all, if you're telling the truth, that makes you a dweeb. And second of all, if you're lying, that makes you a dweeb. Seriously. Either way, that comment makes you a lame person. But yeah, dude, so put the thing back on. Put the thing back on the screen, Editor Broc. Travis Scott, one of the biggest names in rap. Kendrick Lamar, one of the biggest names in rap. Tyler, the Creator, one of the biggest names in rap. DaBaby, one of the biggest names in rap. Lil Baby. Literally, there are so many people on there. If you are 20, there's no way you're 25 and haven't heard of one of those people. There's just not there's not a chance. There's not one chance that you're 25 and haven't heard of one of those people. I don't believe it. I don't believe there's a single person in the world that hasn't heard of one of those people at least. Unless you're like 60 or above. But I think everybody younger than 60 has heard of at least one of those people, if not most of them. So I just thought that comment was funny, dude. And I see stuff like that all the time. And people are just like, especially like on TikTok, there's like a whole trend that's like, oh, maturing is realizing that rap isn't the best genre. I listen to Tame Impala. And Mac DeMarco. Oh, I just found the Beatles. I like the Rolling Stones. Shut up, dude. Literally, everybody knows the Rolling Stones. You think you're so special because you know the Rolling Stones? Oh, you think you're so special because you listen to Frank Sinatra? Just listen to music. It seriously doesn't matter. Here's the thing, dude. Do the thing or don't do the thing. We're going to put that on some merch, dude. I love saying that because it's such a true statement. And it applies to everything, dude. Do the thing or don't do the thing. Listen to the music or don't listen to the music. Don't listen to the music and then tell us that you're listening to the music. Don't do that because we don't care. Either don't know the people or know the people. Don't tell us that you don't know the people and try and get some clout because you don't know the people. Because we don't care. It's like the Stephen A. Smith. We don't care. I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. We don't care. That's me. That's me every time. Hey, sorry, my camera for some reason decided to just not have any space on it anymore. But yeah, dude, so it's just like, I don't care. Like, seriously, so picture this phrase, dude. Do the thing or don't do the thing. I say it probably every podcast because there's so many people that try and just do both things. They try and do everything and they try and get clout and they just, like, listen to the Rolling Stones and like them and just shut up. Or don't listen to the Rolling Stones and don't like them and just shut up. Like, do the thing or don't do the thing. We don't need all this extra stuff. We don't need all this extra little jazz from you. We don't need all this extra talk. Hey, oh, I don't know any of these people. Oh, I just listen to Tame Impala. Have you ever heard of Mac DeMarco? Oh, I listen to Olivia. That's another one, dude. Oh, Olivia Rodrigo. It's fine. It's good. I don't need every guy trying to thirst trap and get women because they like Olivia Rodriguez. Okay? Seriously. Everybody on TikTok, like, guys are just like, yo, low key, I kind of like this Olivia Rodrigo album. Does anybody want to date me yet? Like, guys, just be a decent person and be decently attractive. You don't have to like Olivia Rodriguez. Oh, I actually listened to Olivia Rodrigo's new album, and I actually really like it, and I actually don't even like rap at all. Do you want to go on a date? Like, people think that's going to get him chicks, dude. Shut up. Stop talking. And just stop posting your music altogether, dude. If you post, and I used to post my music, and so that's why I can say this. If you post your music, just stop doing it. Just stop doing it, because nobody cares. Seriously, nobody. Not one. Zippo, nobody. Especially, dude, especially your Spotify Wrapped, which I'm sure we've talked about on this podcast. I'm sure. Your Spotify Wrapped at the end of the year, or like your Spotify stats, seriously, stop. Nobody cares. We're all trying to live our own lives here. We like our own music. We listen to our own music. Do we care what you listen to? No. Do you care what we listen to? No. Why should you? Anyways, man. Just stop thinking you're cooler than you are. Like, I think you're cool. Like, I think you're groovy. I think you're an awesome person. But you don't have to try and show me that you're an awesome person by posting stuff that you think is going to make you look cool. I don't know. I don't like people being fake. Like, just be a good person, be cool, and like act that way around me and just be yourself. And then, I'll think you're cool. And I'm not saying, you're not trying to make me think you're cool, like, personally. I'm just saying, like, people in general. If any of that made any sense, please drop a like on this podcast, bro. I love you guys. We're not done yet. Don't even worry about it. We're not even close to being done, bro. We are just getting started, bro. We're just getting started, bro. Dude, my parents watched a show called Peaky Blinders, and it's like these British gangsters, and I watched it like when I was a kid a little bit, and I didn't like it because I just don't like British people, man. And I'm sorry, British people. I just can't understand you sometimes. And so every time they're watching, I'm just like, oh, it's me, the Peaky Blinders. Oh, I got a knot in my shoe, mate. I'm a shitey brother. You got the jugs, oh boy. Like, I can't handle British people, man, but I can handle Boston people, as we talked about last podcast. Matt Damon and his Boston accent, dude. I gotta go watch Good Will Hunting now, dude. That movie's so awesome, and I love when he says brothers. What do you want me to say? I don't got 12 brothers? Like, that's awesome, dude. Like, that is so sick. Matt Damon. Anyways, dude, I gotta stop talking about Matt Damon. We got a couple TikToks to react to. Do I remember what they are? No, I don't remember what they are. But we're gonna friggin' find out. This is our first TikTok.
At 10, you're stuck. You're not really a kid, and you're not really an adult.
Yeah,
and you're very clearly not a teenager.
Yeah, that's
but
actually true.
I can't wait to work. I can't wait to really work, to have a job, to have responsibility, to be treated like an adult. I'm happy when I work. I'm happiest when I'm busy, and I'm most fulfilled when I'm contributing. Yeah. I love goofing off.
This is the oddest video I've ever
Mom
seen.
took my phone from me, though. It was like taking me off life support. But and I'm sure you do. Doing nothing all day in front of a screen, it doesn't make you feel good just looking at it all day. Like,
you're right.
Unless you're doing something on it. But if you're just
You're right.
It's useless. Do you guys agree? Say 10x if you agree.
10x!
This year, let's agree. To work more, not less. At 10, you're stuck.
Okay, dude, so this is posted by Grant Cardone, which I read his book, The 10X Rule, and I really liked some of the ideas in there, but I could tell that he was kind of like one of these Gary Vee guys that, like, really doesn't say anything and, like, has a weird way of motivating. Did we ever talk about it on this podcast when Gary Vee said you should picture killing your family getting shot in the face? Did we ever watch that? I'm not going to cover it too heavily because a lot of people already talked about it, but dude, there's this video where this girl, I don't even know what the problem was, but she was talking about like motivation or something. She's like, how do you say motivated or something like that? And he's like,
So here's what I want you to do. Every morning, I want you to picture one of your family members getting shot in the face for 5 minutes every morning.
He seriously said those exact words. I'm not even kidding. This isn't me being like facetious. This is literally what he said.
I want you to take the family member you love most, and I want you to pretend that they get shot in the face every morning for 5 minutes.
I'm just like, Gary, what the freak? He's like,
I do this every morning. I pretend one of my family members gets shot in the face, and some of my greatest sadness actually produces some of my greatest happiness.
I'm like, what are you? I'm like, Gary. I'm like, Mr. GV. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? That makes no sense. Why do you picture your family member getting shot in the face? That's really strange. And why are you telling other people to do that? But this is Grant Cardone. I have no idea who this child is. For those of you listening, it's a 10-year-old girl child. And she's on stage like at a TED Talk, and this is what she's saying.
A kid, and you're not
I'm not
really
a kid,
adult,
and I'm not an
you're very
adult, and I'm
cute,
not a
teenager.
teen.
But seriously, I can't wait to
So
work.
she's 10.
I can't wait to really work.
She's talking about how she can't wait to work. No, false, fake. Somebody said this is like Greta Thunberg's like capitalistic arch enemy. Like, why are we listening to kids, dude? Why are we listening to kids? I don't even know why people listen to me. I don't know why people tune into my show. Like, I'm 18 and I know nothing. I don't know anything about life. I'm just trying to figure stuff out, dude. And all of a sudden, we're listening to Greta Thunberg talk about climate change. How dare you? How dare you? That's probably the reason I don't like British people is because of her, to be honest. That's probably why I don't like British people. How dare you? Shut up. And this chick, dude, talking about, I can't wait to work. I cannot wait to work. Is this Gary V's daughter? Is this Gary V's daughter? Is this Gary V's child? Because it has to be. I assume it's Grant's kid. Grant Cardone's kid. It's just so funny, dude. It's like such a cult. And am I a part of it because I read the book? I guess so. Say 10x if you agree. 10x! It says drop a 10x if you agree. Let's see how many people dropped a 10x. Shut up. Let's see how many people dropped a 10x. Oh, nobody. Oh, 0 people. Oh, hey. 0 people dropped a 10x. And like a 10-year-old, dude? Why a 10-year-old? My sister isn't even... My sister's older than 10. And she's one of the dumbest people I know. Is that rude? Yeah, but it's because she's a child. And every 10-year-old I know is stupid. And it's just like, wow. And at the end, this year, let's focus and let's work more, not less. Wow. Socrates in the building. Socrates has entered the building, man. Let's work more, not less. Thank you, guys. Let's achieve our dreams, not fail. Thank you, guys. Let's win. Imagine if you're like a T-ball coach. All right, guys. Let's just go out there. Guys, listen to this. This is the best piece of advice you guys will ever get. Let's win. Let's not lose. Oh, really? Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, coach. Thank you. Thank you. Guys, your teacher. Guys, come on. Listen. This is the best piece of advice I could give you right now. This year, let's focus and let's get A's, not F's, okay? Like, yeah, obviously, don't you understand that's what I want? There's just other internal problems that I am struggling with. Let's work more, not less. Thank you, guys. Obviously, there's nobody that wants to work less. We all want to work more, but we're just lazy. And we just feel like we can, or we make excuses. Like, it's not, so dumb, dude. The other one was so funny, and I knew it was going to get taken down. And you know what, dude? And when I watched it, I was like, yeah, this is going to get taken down before you show it on the podcast. Maybe save it. And then the other side of my brain was like, but then there's extra steps. And then there's extra steps. And so I didn't. And I just copied the link, and now it's taken down. But the video was like the swim coach, and she had a child, and she like flipped the child in the water, trying to teach it to swim. It was like drowning, and it made me laugh so hard, wrongfully. So, but anyways, I really wish I could find that video. It was so funny to me. I laughed so hard at it. Did you hear this new thing with like? Oh no, I'm not even gonna talk about that. Not even gonna discuss that. Okay, we're off TikTok now, boys. We're focused up. Next segment of the show, which I'm super excited about. I'm super stoked. I'm super excited to announce that Outer Banks Season 2 is dropping July 30th. Outer Banks. What can I say about Outer Banks? I don't know if we've ever talked about OBX on the show. OBX is a fine show. It's decent. It's got some cool summer vibes. It's got some fun moments. Is it a great show? No, it's not. But it's fun to watch, dude. It's decent. There's some hot chicks in it. There's some hot guys in it. There's lots of good stuff for, everybody. And it's been since I guess it was only last year when the first season dropped. That's wild. It feels like it's way longer. I guess it was like last spring probably when the first season dropped, and it was pretty sick. And it's a phenomenon in the teenage world now. Everybody's seen it. Everybody likes it, because there's such hot people in it, and that's really what makes it a good show. If you're like a producer for like a company that makes TV shows for teens, I don't know how else I would say that. I seriously don't know how to speak. If you're like a producer at a company that makes TV shows for teenagers, the one thing you need to focus on is have the hot people in it, which I know they've already figured that out and they've already tapped into that. We know. We get it. So OBX Season 2, Outer Banks Season 2 is coming out next month, and they dropped a teaser for it, and I didn't know this until about like 2 weeks after it happened, or a week after it happened. And I was like, yo, when is Outer Banks 2 coming out? And my brother said, it's already coming out next month. And I said, how do you know? And he said, because they said. And so we're going to watch the Outer Banks teaser trailer. It's about 50 seconds long, and I hope there's not copyrighted music, because then I have to not watch it. So yeah, we're just going to watch this Outer Banks. This is my first reaction. I haven't seen this. Okay. They're doing the poke thing. Do they think he's dead?
Good job, B.
And sir.
They think he's dead, bro? How dumb can you be? They're just in freaking...
Back in the G game, baby.
Sarah Cameron! F yeah, bro. Oh yeah, baby. That's hype, dude. And was it only 50 seconds? Yes. But was it so hype? Yes, dude. It's so funny that I get hyped over that now, because 2 years ago, I would not have cared. But dude, I'm so stoked for that now. Freak yeah, man. What a good time. What a great time it is. If you guys haven't watched Outer Banks, go check it out, unless you're like 30. Like anybody less than that, you'll probably like it. It's fun summer vibes, dude. It's fun summer vibes. It's fun, like, treasure hunting. It's like a throwback to some of the classic movies I used to like as a kid. So it's just kind of interesting. I kind of like it. Okay. So don't come at me. Now let's go into some different topics. The light side of the podcast is over. We're gonna get into heavy, dude. So something that was wild that happened was on Friday, dude. My entire town lit on fire, and I was in St. George, and so I wasn't there the whole day. But I think the fire started like early in the morning, because my brother sent me a picture when it was like super small, and then it just kept progressing and progressing. And by the time I got home, apparently nobody was in town, like when I got home, because everybody was gone, and the fire was just crazy, dude. It was ridiculous. And I have some decent videos. I don't know if I want to watch them. Let's just watch this one with the plane, dude. Let's watch this one with the plane. So, dude, this is from Tyler's house. This isn't from my house. My house was like really pretty close to the fire. Not as close as some people, but it was decently close to the fire, so I left. And yeah, so that's like a giant. This video doesn't do it justice, and Taryn has a better video, and I asked him to send it to me, and he didn't, which is so rude. But so that's like a huge plane, and dude, watch this. Oh, dude, that was wild. Look at that, man. That's right above not right above my house. That's right above our town. And they're just dropping that fire retardant. Sorry, I don't want to get canceled. Fire stopper. So yeah, dude, and look how big this is when it comes around the corner too. If I filmed it. I don't know if I did. Pass Broc. What are you doing, Pass Broc? There we go. Okay, look at the size of this thing, dude.
Yeah, you can't see where you're going.
Shut up, Matthew. Anyways, yeah, dude, it's wild, man. And it's kind of freaky, dude. Honestly, like, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced something like this, but it's kind of terrifying because your entire life, you feel like nothing like that can touch you. Like, it kind of feels like that's out of the realm of possibility. Like, I've never worried about fires, earthquakes, like natural disasters have always been out of the realm of possibility for me. Like, that will never affect me. But then this fire, dude, came and just destroyed so much stuff. And it's lucky it only got one house. And another thing too, dude, so I wanted a house. There was this house I wanted down the street from my current house, and it was beautiful and I love it. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna buy that house when I'm older. And then somebody bought it, and now I'm ticked. And then there was this other house. It was like way out of town, and it was on the hill, and it looked out onto the valley, and like it was looking at the sunrise. And I was like, that would be such a dope house. I want to come back and buy that house, dude. And that was the one house that burned down. It burned to the ground, which sucks, dude. But it's crazy that there was like so many houses in the hills that like were on fire. Like the entire, like all the hills are just black now. And there's houses in those hills and they just didn't get touched. Like props to the firefighters or whatever, man. Y'all are studs, some of you. And it was just kind of crazy, dude, because it puts a lot of stuff into perspective. Like, and it got close to this subdivision where a lot of people I know live, and it got really scary for a second, actually. And I was scared my house was going to get burnt down for a minute, but it was never going to. And obviously I can say that looking back now, but so yeah, dude, it's kind of freaky to like think about, and it like really shows you like what is important in life. Like that night, I wasn't thinking about anything, dude. I wasn't even thinking about the podcast. I was just like, dude, I hope these people's houses don't burn down. And you gotta like, I don't know. I don't know. Like stuff like this just teaches me lessons. I don't know if it shows anybody else anything, but I'm just kind of like what do I need to be doing in life, dude? Like I need to be like a good neighbor, like serve people. That's such a weird thing to take away from that, but it is like it was like, dude, my house could have burnt down and all my stuff in there could have burnt down, and then it would just be gone. And like, I don't know. Just stop taking stuff for granted, I guess, is the biggest takeaway from that. Like, it could all be gone in a second, and you never even know. Lots of stuff we take for granted, dude, and we don't know until it's gone or kind of comes close to being gone, and it's kind of freaky, dude. But, you know, it brought our community closer together. There's still fires going on outside, and so, you know, thoughts out to all those people. There was some other stuff that happened that night, too, so thoughts to all those people. Yeah, man. I love everybody here, man. I love everybody here. Even the people I don't like, I love them. You know? Does that make any sense? Like, even the people I don't like here, I love them. Which is fun. So, yeah, that's one of the heavy topics is just, like, kind of don't take things for granted. Because, you know, stuff like that can happen all the time, and we never know when it's going to happen, and you just got to, you know, don't live life in fear, but just, you know, appreciate stuff when you have it. Because you never know when it might leave you. And is that a somber topic? Yes, it is, but it should also be super inspirational and super fun and make you feel super happy. Next thing, and I think this is kind of the last thing I'm going to cover, dude, is like, I was going through, so I'm deep into the golf world now, as some of you might know, for whatever reason. And so I'm watching like a lot of golf videos and a lot of stuff, and so I've been on YouTube a lot more recently because I don't go on YouTube that much. But for the past couple days, I've been going on YouTube watching golf videos and stuff, and I realized, like, I'm subscribed to so many people that I just don't watch or don't care for anymore. So I went through and kind of cleansed my subscriptions, dude, and there's, like, a couple people that, like, I know that have YouTube channels and stuff that just, like, gave up. Like, their channel's just, like, gone, and they haven't posted in, like, a year, and I'm just like, dude. And it was like their dreams and stuff. And there's some people that are like doing super successful too that just kind of haven't posted in a long time. And it just kind of makes me upset, dude. And it makes me think about like, you can't give up on your dreams like that, man. And like, it's going to take a long time to do, especially something like this. It takes so long and people don't realize that. And like, one of the most interesting books I ever read was Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. And I didn't understand it the whole time I was listening, but then after I was like, oh, that makes like so much sense. And it basically is talking about all the advantages and all the factors that go into people being successful. So like Bill Gates is kind of the example I use when I'm talking to people about this. Cause like, so Bill Gates, when he was a kid, he lived a block away from like one of the first places to ever like give public access to computers. And he also, so he loved it too, and so that's part of it. He had a passion for like computers and programming and stuff, and so he learned all that. And he was within like walking distance, I think like a block away. And so he spent a lot of time with computers and stuff, and a lot of time practicing and developing that talent. And you know, it's the classic thing, like the 10,000 hours rule. It takes like 10,000 hours for you to be a master, like an expert in that field. And so by the time that computer programming and like software development came around, he had already had so many hours and so much experience. But there was no payoff before that. Like, he was just doing it because he liked it. There was no sign of, you know, this is going to make you a billionaire, a multi-billionaire in the future. He was just doing it because he liked it and he got so much experience. And then when the opportunity came, he took advantage of that, and now he's one of the richest men ever, and one of the most, you know, prominent guys in tech. And so one of the most interesting things from that book too was like, a lot of people talk about luck, dude, which is it's kind of like people have a warped view of what luck actually is. So especially like in my field, people will always tell me, oh, you just need one video to blow up, like they know, which I appreciate people talking to me about that, but that's not true. And people are like, yeah, you just need to get lucky one time, and all of a sudden you're going to be the biggest name in radio. Not true. Luck happens when opportunity meets preparation. So what that means is, like, in the case of Bill Gates, you could say he got lucky that he made such a successful software company. But honestly, he was preparing for that his whole life. He didn't know it, but he's preparing for that his whole life. And then when the opportunity presented itself and this business started like happening and this industry took over, he took that opportunity and he did something with it. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that's what luck is. Luck isn't just something that happens at random. It happens when opportunity meets preparation. And so that's what like a lot of people don't understand. And so I think that's super interesting. But going back to like YouTube and stuff, and this doesn't have to just apply to YouTube. This is for everything, dude. Anything you guys want to do, any goal you have, this applies to it. It's you're gonna do it a long time without any sort of payback or like any sort of I don't know, compensation, I guess. You're gonna have to deal with that a lot, and you're just gonna have to deal with it, dude. And it takes a long time, and people don't understand that, and so they get discouraged when stuff isn't working out for them. And I get discouraged a lot, actually, and I have to think back to like, it takes a long time. It takes a lot longer than you think. And so, yeah, it just kind of saddened me that like I saw these people that weren't doing what they liked anymore. Maybe because they just thought it was too hard or they didn't have time or whatever. But I just think I wanted to get that message out there that if you really want something, if you really want to achieve a goal, it's going to take a lot of time, and you're not going to see any sort of signs that it's going to work out. And it's terrifying, and it's the worst, and it's, you know, it's the grind, dude. It's literally one of the worst like feelings or like anxieties that you could ever feel. Like me right now, like not knowing if this is ever going to work out, if I'm just chasing like a pipe dream. It's something that, another thing, dude, a lot of people think that that's wrong, that you can't have doubts or fears. BS, dude. Everybody's scared when they're doing stuff like this. I have no idea if I'm going to make it. I'm going to try my hardest. I'm going to work hard, but I have no idea if I'm going to make it. I'm confident that I can, but I have no idea if it'll happen. And so that question in my mind, like constantly 24/7 is super hard to deal with, but it's something that comes with having goals and wanting to achieve them. And that means you're super passionate about the thing too, whatever it might be. And so I just want to push that message to whoever's listening to this right now. Like, if you have a goal, you got to work hard at it, number one. But it doesn't just take hard work. It takes a lot of consistency and persistence and a lot of mental toughness. And you gotta be able to take a beating, dude. You got to be able to do it over and over and over and over again for years and years without any sort of light at the end of the tunnel. And then one day there's going to be an opportunity, and when that happens, you're going to have to take control of it. Like a good example, like a smaller example, but a decent example was what I talked about earlier. Like, I've been doing this podcasting thing with no, not really any payoff. Like, it's fun. I love to do it. But it's like my audience hasn't really been growing, and I've just been doing it consistently for the past year and a half. And then this guy emails me and says, let's talk about podcasting and radio. And I have all this experience, and so I feel like I'm already ahead of the curve when it comes in that, whatever that saying is. It curve or curb? I feel like I'm already ahead of it by the time I get down there. And so it's just like stuff like that, and it's going to help me a lot with the future of whatever this is. So if any of this podcast made sense to you, please leave a like, comment cookie or something. Comment cookie if you're at the end. I don't care. But comment something. Share this with your friends, dude, because they need this motivation and they need this light, dude, and they need this love. Hope you guys have an amazing week. Love you all to death. Take care, man. Ciao.